Welcome to devlog number 2. It has been about 2 weeks since I uploaded the first devlog, and I've made a lot more progress already. This is Malevolent Star, a first-person shooter game heavily inspired by classic Halo and earlier Bungie games. I have several exciting updates. First, the main menu. The options button currently does nothing. I have also added a pause menu. Very impressive, I know. Taking a look around the place, you'll see that I have a new version of the first level to replace the rough blockout version from the last devlog. I've also upgraded the aliens' housing situation because boy did they need it. This is how Squidward was living when he quit the Krusty Krab. I can't disrespect it too much though, because in this economy, this is the type of dwelling I still won't be able to afford in 5 years. Anyway, I've upgraded their living situation to these sort of shipping container looking things. Nice. And I'm still working on adding taxation to the game, but in the meantime I have added the other one of life's inevitabilities. The player can now die. And that makes a nice segue into my greatest accomplishment so far, saving and loading progress. When I first considered the notion of saving and loading the game, I thought certainly game engines have a built-in function to serialize the entire game state for you, so that you can easily implement perfect saving and loading. Nope. If you want to save the game state, you need to do that yourself. This makes sense. After all, the game engine cannot possibly know which information needs to be persisted between game sessions. I've noticed that a lot of indie first-person shooter games do not have very comprehensive saving and loading. The player usually just reaches a checkpoint at a time when no enemies are loaded into the area, immediately before starting an encounter. This works great for lots of games, but for Malevolent Star, the sandbox and dynamic level progression are important parts of the experience. Across the level are lots of dropped weapons, dead bodies, and enemies constantly spawning in from multiple triggers and scripted events. There will be times when the game needs to give the player a checkpoint while there are enemies, dead bodies, and dropped weapons on the ground, and bullets in the air. That sounds like a lot, I thought. Maybe I don't have to persist all of that stuff. Maybe just the important stuff. But then the autistic hyperfocus kicked in. Contained within this JSON lines file is the position of every entity, the internal state of every weapon, the position and trajectory of every projectile in the air, the internal state of every enemy AI, the state of every animation controller, the progress of every animation currently playing, the exact pose of every dead and living body, and the health and shields of every entity, including both the damage taken and all regeneration cooldowns. I even persisted the linear and angular velocity of every bone in the armature of the dead bodies, in case they're still falling down when the game saves. Saving and loading is now a 100% seamless experience. The pause menu has a save button for now, so I can manually save the game at any time. This is great for testing, but the later versions of the game will replace this with an automatic checkpoint system. That concludes the nerdy section of this video. Look at this fellow. I wonder if he's friendly. I have added snipers to the game. The snipers use a new weapon called the Plasma Bolter, which has become my favorite of the 3 weapons currently in the game. They also have a unique, weaker version of the shielding module that some other enemies have. To prevent these guys from triggering Halo 2 Sniper Jackal PTSD, I gave them a projectile-based sniper weapon and a short delay between when they lock in their target and when they fire. When their headgear flashes red, that means that they will stop tracking their target, then fire after a short delay. This makes them very easy to dodge, but they will still get you if they catch you lacking. I also removed sprinting from the game. You can still slide, but you have to be walking forward for at least 1 second before you can slide. But it does make it very easy to fly past all of the enemies if you're not interested in playing the game anymore, so I may have to nerf it. That's all. Thank you for watching.